All right, so last thing we got to do here is there's a couple more things, but one of the last ones we're going to skin the back and skin right around the chest cavity. Get this turned over so that we can get at the back straps to pull the back straps out, and then we'll break at the neck and we'll wrap up our cape and be out of here.
So that's the exit wound.
Again, you've taken all this time to be careful with your hide. Just go slow if you get to a spot where it, you know.
If you need a breather, take a breather. Now is not the time to get careless with it.
So what I've done here too is just continue to lay that hide right out so that when we go to turn this thing over, we got a place to set it down and we're not setting it in the dirt, okay? So if Mike holds this up a little bit, I should be able to get in here on the neck and just find one of the vertebrae here, but you know, slightly above where we scun this out. And then if I can cut right down in here and cut most of the connective tissue around, we should be able to just turn that or the part of the carcass right around nice and easy. All right, let's go ahead and try that. I'm gonna set my knife right there. So let's go ahead and see if we turn it over, yeah, and just set it down. Now, you know, basically where we are trying to get the back straps out of here.
But we're going to remove the head first.
Okay, so if we continue to work. All right, so we lost our lights here, but you know, from an auditory standpoint, I figure I'll just talk through what we did. We worked our way into the spine, up at the neck. One person holds the head and the other one just twists the body, and it just similar to each of the the front wrist and the ankle joints in the back, it just pops. We don't need to run a bone saw in there or anything. You can basically get right down in between two of the vertebrae and just twist it, and it just pops off there. So we now have turned the carcass over and are working towards pulling the back straps out of here. Again, our lights are dying on us, but
So what we have done is remove all four legs, all the skin and everything, and we're in the head, and we're essentially left with the core of the animal. We flipped it over so the vertebral column is facing superiorly or facing up, and Adrian is going through and removing the back strap. To remove the back strap, he's going to find the vertebral column with his fingers, and you can tell it's rigid. It'll go up and down, and he's going to take his knife and cut directly down that vertebral column until the tip of his knife hits those ribs. Now the ribs end and you get into the abdominal cavity. So once he gets there, he'll have to be a little careful, but the way a vertebrae is shaped is you have a spinous process sticking up, and then you have essentially a T that is formed like that. So when he puts the knife down, it's going to hit that, so it's not going to puncture the guts. Once he gets his cut all the way down, that portion, he's going to use his finger along the spine and open it up, and then look for the seam where the backstrap meets the ribs, right? Now this backstrap is collectively known as the erector spinae muscle. It allows the animal to extend its back, and he's going to come in up from the ribs, meet his cut, and then slowly lift that backstrap off. And what he does to one side, he is going to do the exact same thing to the other side. He's just working right along the ribs right now, attaching it to that spinous process and that vertical cut that he made going down. So you can see that it's starting to come free here. He's doing a really nice job. Again, being very dynamic in his field dressing, being able to move quickly from one side to the next, make a decision on how he wants to cut to free the actual meat up, and being careful in the process to conserve or harvest as much meat as he possibly can.
So now I've essentially gotten beyond the ribs, and I just have to be a little more careful down in here that I don't go deep, right? I don't want to go down into this gut cavity. So I like to just pull up on the backstrap as I'm cutting through there, and it just lets me see where I'm at. And again, if I hold my knife kind of parallel to you know, the carcass or the bones that are in here, the spine, I won't drop down into that cavity. Again, when I get somewhere where I don't want to go deep, if I hold the blade of my knife up, I can use the tip of my knife, but I'm not gonna. I have much better control over how deep how deep my cut's gonna be. I got that all opened up, and then I've now found, you know, the top of the pelvis or the hip joint that's up here, and that's where the end of this, you know, this collective set of muscles is going to end. And now I'm just pulling this away and down in here to try to connect the two cuts that I've made together. So sometimes you gotta go that way, just back and forth. Again, we're just working our way all the way along this to get this entire piece of meat up out of here.
Want me to lift it up for you?
Sure. So again, this is where, again, having a third hand there is really nice, because now I can manipulate both my hands down in here to work around, you know, each of these little junctions along the spine. There's backstrap.
Nice little backstrap roast. What we've managed to do is take all 4 quarters, the backstrap, and get a perfectly preserved pelt to tan or turn into a rug. So all of it is possible. Even if you are just shooting a bear because you want a rug or whatnot, take the time to harvest the meat, honor your kill, and have some fun in the kitchen.